Arielle, today's tip is sponsored by the podcast Crew Collective. Crew Collective travels into space through the lens of creators that make content about the stars. You have today's tip. What is today's tip that is sponsored by Crew Collective?
Today's tip is about building a legacy on the internet and making sure that even if you are creating short-form content, you are also thinking about how your content lives on in perpetuity. Listeners, viewers, as you know, our podcast is short, 1 to 2 minutes every day, daily tips that may or may not help you. But we're also thinking about and actively making steps towards making sure this podcast makes sense a few years from now. We have almost 500 episodes, very close to it. But if you go back to our episodes that we made in December of 2023, they still make sense today. And these tips are evergreen. And today's tip from Crew Collective Podcast talks about making sure that your shorts make sense even in the long term.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot as a potential tip over the years because we think about how even though our media is so short, right? It's so quick. You can get us in under 2 minutes almost every day. But we want the Tippendales to keep coming back. We want this conversation to be long running and thinking about how even if you are a person who creates short media, how your fans, listeners, followers can come back over and over and over again. It's a long-term conversation split up into tiny bite-sized chunks rather than one bite-sized conversation before a different conversation. And I think that's a great shout out from Crew Collective.
Thank you to Crew Collective for being a sponsor of this podcast. Crew Collective is a podcast about the wild, weird, and deeply human side of cosmic storytelling. You can learn more about them by going to crewcollectivepodcast.com, and we'll see you tomorrow, Tippendales.